Greetings, I am Lion.
And I am Scandal.
And
let's play a game together. Yes.
So much is just gentle. The music in this
Honestly,
game.
it really reminds me of the Mario 64 water level.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Like, badly.
Like, just
and
like...
I don't mean to, like, leave people with that, because this is clearly, like, a very sad person, and I wish to support Sayori, but I'm just like...
Water level.
Boo, it's the water level.
Because you're
What's
crying.
the waterworks?
Yeah, the waterworks to the water level.
Ah, that's so bad. Okay, here we go.
I cry. It's the water
Do
level.
you still believe me? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Even if you don't understand all your own feelings, I know that what you need the most right now.
Because I am always right.
It's some hot ABO. And that's what I'm gonna give to you.
Oh my god!
Some hot ABO.
Oh my god.
Sayori? I fucking hate both of these and Splat, and I still don't care.
Splat going, you
I have
always
formative friend behavior.
Be my dearest friend, because how else could we possibly exist? If I have friends and you are there, you will always be around.
Yes.
All right, I feel like the closest you're going to get with Splat is you'll always be my dearest friend.
However, since Splat is just a shithole, I could really honestly see Splat going, oh, I love you. Oh, honey. Like, in a way that like, I can't even describe level of, like, dick-holish behavior.
I could see that, and that would just be so dark. All right, yeah, you know what? This is your character, and I am totally feeling that, and it also makes me super uncomfortable, but that is the character, and also, this game has not given points to this protag at all for being a good person, for being really decent or considerate, or giving people their autonomy or space or anything.
Yeah, and the thing is there has been a series of pretty, like, questionable, iffy things about the character, and I'm just not into it, and that's where I'm like... You could go with either one.
Additionally,
on a level of sarcasm of also going Splat, going, I'm not engaged with the I love you in the I love you sense of going, no, but I love you, Sayori. And just, I know that this will mean more to you, but you're a fucking idiot and you should know that.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine.
No, that makes sense. I think that would be the one.
All right. I'm going to hurt myself here.
All right, we're in for the pain, bros.
We're ready to hurt. I love you. Those are my true feelings.
For sure.
So there's no way you could like me more than I like you. I should have realized it sooner.
That saying this thing would solve stuff.
But spending time with everyone at the club, making new friends, and having fun with you every single day. It helped me realize that you are truly the most important person to me. That's why I'll accept any of your burdens, because you are still a fucking burden, Sayori. I still need to remind you that you're a goddamn mess. And I know you're depressed, and you might not like hearing that, and that's actually literally your problem, but I'll go ahead and remind you that you're still a burden, honey.
It's okay.
It's okay. As long as we continue like this every day, and you don't make my life difficult any more than you have.
And you never, like, move in with me. We never have any difference in our relationship, just like this. Even when we're out of high school, we'll have to find somewhere to go. We must go to college together to continue just like this.
Just like that.
With no changes.
As long as I continue like this every day, with you by my side.
When I'm walking
then
home.
I know we'll both be happy, because I will have still complete and utter control of your existence.
All right, meta again for a moment, or stepping out again for a moment. Not meta, sorry. Just going, okay. Stepping away from the character of Splat, that line is still very, very assumptive.
Oh, God, yeah.
It is in this space of going, and I will be there for you, so I will solve everything for you, and we will both be happy. This can be a very, very dangerous thing to tell someone that is clinically depressed or chronically depressed, because... Oh, it's fine. What was I say? Anyway, so there's this experience of going... If you tell someone that and they agree with you, they go, oh, okay. Or they go, this relationship will make me happy because you've said so and I trust you. Then often they'll feel like they're the bad person if it doesn't, and be more depressed, frustrated with their experience. or the person telling them. Then we'll both be happy means you had better be happy because I will be making you happy. Therefore, you will be happy. And if you're not, that's when things get problematic.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that this can be said softly if then I know we'll both be happy. But saying that I know that if they trust you and also you're putting a burden onto them.
Yeah, especially if
happy.
anything ever goes wrong. Like, at all.
Well, even if it doesn't go wrong, if just you being there doesn't make them cure their depression.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it adds happiness to their life, if it doesn't cure their unhappy experience, because it's possible to have happy moments and feel good about someone while still feeling profoundly depressed about your life.
Right.
Like, this is a thing that can be hard to explain to people that haven't had depression, but both can be true at once, where you can literally be, I want to stay with my partner forever and I want to kill myself tomorrow because I don't want to live. And they both are completely true.
Yep.
All right, so anyway,
Then I know we'll both be happy.
Splat? Oh, we have an illustration.
Suddenly,
Holy crap!
Sayori wraps her arms tightly around me.
It looks like you're both kneeling on the ground.
I know!
It really does look like you kneeled down on the ground because of where the gate is.
Right.
And the bush and stuff and the perspective of you have to look up to see them like that.
Right.
Like, this looks like you both kneeled down on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Splat? Is this really okay?
Yeah, of course. I hold Sayori in my arms, all 900 of them, and pull her
many
closer.
arms. Plop, plop, plop.
Plop, plop, plop. You'll never have to let go of me again. I
love you, Splat. I want to be with you forever.
Me too.
I assume
So
it will
don't
happen that
fuck
way.
it up for me, honey.
Also, I love that they had to push her bow out of the way to the other side so she could hug us.
No.
Like, there's this, I smooshed my head next to the side of yours, which flipped your bow over to the other side.
Imagine if they were like, oh shit, we have to flip the canvas, which is kind of what I'm wondering that they did.
I don't know.
I'm
just
dang.
like,
Because they were
you
like,
could've
otherwise
just-
we'd have to show the main character off, and we can't do that because you're supposed to self-insert here.
Right? Also, going, you could have just squished the bow into his face. It would have been fine.
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 But you have to see the bow at all
The
times.
bow. I feel Sayori's grip around me weaken a little bit.
What is this?
Sayori.
There it is.
There we go.
I'm supposed to be happy right now. I always thought this, if it happened, would be the happiest moment for me. But why? Because depression isn't solved when
By
it
a
is
relationship, yeah.
a chemical experience or a situational experience by adding something more to it. Like, if you're in a really unhappy life circumstance and you add something more to it, it doesn't make the rest of it not unhappy.
Well, and it's also the thing of, that's why people sometimes get basically addicted to coping behaviors, whether that's even where people go, oh, you're an alcoholic. It's like, yeah, because it started out probably as a coping thing or a social thing, and you just got lost in it. Whether it's watching or binging a lot of shows, whether it's eating a ton of food, whether it's exercising like crazy, or it's working all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
workaholism kind of thing. Okay, it's not only the ones that are,
people love touting.
Morally, judgeable.
Repugnant.
That's a good word. I was gonna say, but yeah, this is so accurate. It's like you could be feeling pieces of this is so cool, but it doesn't make you feel happy.
Because it's not there to solve your problem, because you're not depressed about that.
Exactly.
Like,
and the thing is, it's going, sometimes you're not depressed about anything. You're depressed because of chemical imbalances in your body.
Oh, yeah.
And again, like, if your body can't produce your own serotonin or you don't have good serotonin receptors, store-bought is fine.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, there's no... But again, like, it's really hard sometimes to parse situational depression versus, or like what some people call, adjustment disorder. So I recently learned about a kind of depression called adjustment disorder that is really weirdly dark to me, where some people have called it situational depression, and then according to the DSM, that's an inaccurate way of describing it, because adjustment disorder is basically a big thing in your life changed that socially you can, or physiologically you can never go back on, and you're not adjusting to that change. That thing makes you unhappy. You have adjustment disorder. And I'm like, holy crap. And adjustment disorder can be anything from you had kids and you've always been depressed since then, to you lost a limb and you're not accepting your life after that kind of thing.
Right.
Like anything. Or you got married and you're just not being happy about it. You're continually depressed the second, shortly after got married, and you're having trouble adjusting to the marriage. And it's like, sometimes you need to try and get out of that situation, even if it is something that they're going, but it's a no turning back. You've lost that limb. Going, okay, maybe bionics then. Maybe, how some kind of like, there are options kind of thing. Or at least someone telling you that you're not bad for wanting what you feel like you've lost.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of ways to deal with it, but like adjustment disorder makes me deeply uncomfortable because they're basically just like, the therapy is to try and get you to adjust to the change in your life.
Right.
And I'm like,
whoa! We don't do that with basically anything else, and it almost sounds like we're trying to basically convert you back to, an experience. You should like this thing. It's a part...
Since it can't change according to our beliefs right now, whatever it is,
right.
You need to adjust to it. Otherwise, you'll never be happy. And going, whoa. Anyway, so yeah, like that. This fits in with what I was saying, basically, of you can't just make someone else happy. Why won't the rain clouds go away? They're not going away at all, Splat.
It's okay, Sayori.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, honey. It might take some time for things to get better again.
But Sayori has described they've never been better.
I know, but no matter how long it takes, I'll always be there. Every step of the way, honey, and you better not ruin this for me.
And again, there's that thing of going, you're telling the person, you will get happier, I will do it. Mm-hmm. And not going, we will work through this, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was a couple that I met years ago in a job that was a really, like... They seemed like a really well-balanced couple as like a partnership, even though the wife suffered from extreme like bipolar depression, right?
Uh-huh.
And or manic depressive disorder, whichever. I think both are the same thing.
I think manic depressive and bipolar is
different. I think she had both. I say the thing is if they're different, she had both.
Yeah.
I would say anyways, and so she had some really extreme like mood swings and experiences
We're
and stuff.
Clearly official diagnosis people
and
here
the
on
thing
Lies and Scandal.
is her husband, he was one of the leads in a department that I worked in, and he was like, I understand that she's unhappy and that nothing can necessarily make her happy. He's like, but we do love each other and I help her through it. And it's one of those things where when I talked to her, I met her at a couple of the holiday parties and things like that. There was an experience of her talking about how basically like it was one of those relationship things of just going, yeah, like I'm rarely happy, but I have really reliable support. And so he didn't expect her to become happy. There was always a hope for it. There was always a drive for it.
Right.
Like, that's something she wanted and that he wanted, but he never expected her to be, like he never treated her as though she was incomplete while she was unhappy.
Right.
Or that she just hadn't arrived yet.
Right.
And that is something that I've met with a lot of people who experience people around them having depression of whatever manner it may be, of going, well, you're going to get out of it. And so we'll just treat this as it's going away rather than, you are okay as a person right now. And I understand you don't want to be hurting, and I don't want you to be hurting either. But you're not bad or incomplete or wrong or haven't arrived yet.
Right.
Because you are still hurting.
Yeah.
And that's what this kind of stuff feels like for me. Anyway, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters right now.
Is that you'll get there.
Eventually.
Okay. I trust you.
Sayori and I slowly release each other. So, I guess that makes the festival tomorrow our first date. Huh. Like, this is really like, I'm gonna push you into a romantic relationship because this is the easiest way to control you, and this is the things that makes people happy. I've seen, though, people do this. Like, I've heard horror stories, because, so, I grew up Mormon, but basically where people were like, yeah, you just push basically other individuals into relationships, and it's supposed to fix it, because that's, so, I know a lot of people are not gonna have context for this, and I apologize, I don't know how to explain it, so I'm just gonna use the words that I have, but it's called, like, going, that's my eternal companion, this is the person I want to live my life with, this is the person I want to date, and you must be happy. We must make this work because we've got to be together forever. And that always fixes everything because that's the ultimate goal to existing in life is to get an eternal companion and continue on merrymaking your way in this church cult experience.
It's basically this idea, from what I understand, that, I mean, the eternal companion is a Mormon belief.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, but the basic experience is that if there's any unhappiness you're experiencing in your life, it is either because you don't have your eternal companion yet, or you aren't in the right place with yourself or God.
Right. And sometimes people really actually aggressively would go after themselves, even in regards to going, I'm so depressed, God must be punishing me. I've done something wrong. And you're like, you're sick? that doesn't make you wrong. Like, I remember people doing that all the time, going, I don't know why I'm so unhappy. I'm doing all these things that are right, and why am I so unhappy? I'm like, there's so many fucking depressed people in the Mormon church, and, like, a lot of people also going, like, well, I'm really depressed because, you know, I'm gay, or whatever it is. Yeah, it was just...
Even in, basically, the Christian ideology that I was raised with, which was a non-denominational Christian, there was this experience of going, basically, that your marriage should make you happy. If you're depressed, you probably need a partner. You're probably lonely. Like, my dad's biggest fear, and I've described it a couple of times, is loneliness. Like, going, if you don't have a partner, the whole thing of going, you know, you'll be faced with your biggest fear, it would be total isolation and no connection. Like, that would be it.
Right.
And going, like, it is connected to this idea that a partner will make you happy, so you will be doomed to unhappiness if you're alone. And while a partner might not make you instantly happy right now, that is the only thing that can make you happy, so you need one.
Right, and that's always the thing that I thought was really sad anyway, because you really do start watching, though, people going, yeah, but if this thing's supposed to make me happy, why aren't you making me happy? It's your fault. Like,
and
there's
in a very
something wrong.
specific experience, either it's your fault or it's my fault that I'm not happy with you. And there's really strong, like, a lot of toxic stuff around there.
Yes.
Okay? What are you saying? I don't want to think about those things, you know? I want everything to be the same. You just said you wanted everything to be the same as it's always been. Do you know that a declaration of love doesn't have to be a declaration of romantic love? There
was actually an error there.
Okay.
It says, as it always been.
As it always been. Damn, typos.
Yep.
Invading everything.
Yep.
They do. All the
true.
Places, all the things.
I'm going...
All right. Even if we really are a couple, I don't know if I could handle anything more right now. And that's sort of the thing that my friend was mentioning as well. And we went off somewhere else, but basically going, forcing someone into something the moment you declare, you know, a difference of feelings or an awareness of feelings, declaring your feelings doesn't equal something else.
Yes.
It can be a step towards that, and it may allow you to pursue that. And you might both be in a space of going, does that mean we can date now? But the thing is it doesn't equal that. And I'm just going to refer back to Yowie Beast Boys here of going, there's this experience of, you know, your friend pushing you and going, but you feel these feelings. Well, then if you do, we need to do this thing. And going, that's not always how that works. Again, also though, a declaration of love doesn't have to be romantic love. It was really great when my tall breast friend casually declared at one point when I was talking about, I don't know if I understand love. He's like, well, you love me. And I was like, what? He's like, I know you love me because of how you treat me and behave around me. It's great. And it was the most casual, comfortable thing in the world. And it was really eye-opening because I've never had anyone just casually say that to me without wanting something from it, without it being now things are going to change and shit needs to happen.
Right.
He is so cool. He's awesome. All right. I don't know if I could handle anything more right now. It's really new and scary to me. Especially if we harken back to the experience of if she's afraid of like her body changing and growing up and stuff and having any level of, I don't know how to control my life.
Right? I understand. It's okay. I will be your rock because otherwise you're just completely, you know, waylaid and you just don't know what you're doing with your life.
You're
it's
a drift.
Right. You're a drift. We'll go at whatever pace suits you best, but we will go. We will go.
It will keep going, and at a pace, but you get to choose the pace.
It'll be fine.
That is something I've experienced as well. Going, well, we'll take it at whatever speed you like, but the speed has to be moving through a standard progression of relationship steps. Hey, Splat?
Sayori gazes at me once again, smiling sadly.
Even if I get really, really sad, this is the best thing for me, right? Oh, God. This is really painful. Okay,
Lord.
There have been so many times where people who have been authority figures in my life or who have pushed in to be an authority figure, especially in reference to relationships, have been like, I know what's best and I'm going to tell you what's best and I have to decide whether or not to trust them. And if I've already decided to trust them, then I have to believe them when they say it, and then it's my job to make it work if they're right.
Yes.
And it then again puts the burden on the other person because you're not willing to, because the one telling them, yeah, this is right, tells them this has to work because you're going to need to make it work because I'm doing my part, kind of thing.
It is a little shitty. I don't really understand what Sayori means by that. Like, come on. Are you saying that this is making you feel sad, Sayori? Because you already said that. Could you please stop being repetitive? It's kind of annoying.
I I don't know. I don't understand what I'm feeling. It felt like a bunch of thorns when you told me you loved me. But that's why I want to trust you. Because even though it felt bad, you say it's good. And I've always believed that what you say is good for me is good for me. And I would never consider that any of my depression that I've considered to be lifelong could be in any way from you who's been there for that lifelong trip. Or that any of your behavior could ever be making me sad at all. You know what's best for me.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do.
All right.
That's my promise. Oh my god. Okay, this is just dark. I'm like, it also bugs me because I'm like, okay, so if the writers are actually going where I would like to think they're going, of pointing out actually you have been kind of controlling and abusive of Sayori in that sense,
that your main character is not a good person and is not being helpful.
Yeah, well, going, by the way, these are indicators that these are kind of shitty behaviors to exert towards someone and exert on someone.
I really like that Sayori is so hesitant about this and that she's really spelling out exactly what the relationship between you is going, this doesn't feel right, but I can trust you. And so it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel right, because if I trust you, then it is right because you're saying it's right.
Yeah.
But that's still putting it on herself, not putting the burden on you of going, and then you'll make it right. It's still, as the depressed person, going, okay, I will proceed with this pace, this relationship, this thing, because you've said it's what's right for me.
Oh boy, this is going to get fascinating. Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. Got a link in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye.